What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 299. And I've decided to write one of the longest running rogs in Remember the Game history and talk about a game that I fucking love. Fucking love. Twisted Metal Black for the PS2. Now let me set the stage for you here, friends, all right? It's the summer of 2001. 17-year-old Adam Blank has just graduated high school, and he's working 2 jobs to save up money to try to buy himself a car. Keep in mind, he was making about $6 an hour back then. I just bought myself a PS2, primarily for the DVD player, but of course also to play video games. And I loved Twisted Metal on the PS1. So when a PS2 iteration came out, right as I stopped having to go to school and had nothing else to do with my spare time, I was over the moon. When I was not at work, I was blowing up cars and watching some of the most fucked up cutscenes I have ever seen. That was the summer of 2001 for me, and it was glorious. Twisted Metal Black is a top 10 PS2 game for me. I am so stoked to finally be talking about a game we should have shown some love on this show a long time ago. My buddy Andre is going to be my guest this week. He actually covered the OG Twisted Metal games with me back on Remember the Game number 69. Nice. And while we love the original games as much as everyone else does, Twisted Metal Black is the definitive Twisted Metal game and possibly the best dark, sadistic, fucked up retro title out there. And we'll get to all that in just a minute, because speaking of being dark, sadistic, and kind of fucked up, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. Dun, 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 dun. If you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Consider this your warning. Our intros really aren't that dark, sadistic, or fucked up, but they are kind of long. They're fun. We talk about video games and all that kind of stuff. They're good times, and they're much easier to skip than taking out that fucking back shield on Minion in Twisted Metal Black. If you know, you know. Fuck that fucking shield. But seriously, if you do want to skip the intro, if you just want Twisted Metal Black talk, go to about the 30-minute mark. I recommend listening to the whole thing. We're going to talk video games and shit. It's going to be a good time. Let me get my plugs out of the way. Keep the bills on. A few minutes. We're done. Reminder, I will be at GameCon Canada here at Edmonton this weekend, Friday, June 14th through Sunday, June 16th. Video games, board games, card games, computer games, any kind of game. You game it in a games. Games everywhere at GameCon Canada, the Edmonton Expo Center this weekend. I'm excited. If you're checking it out, swing by the booth and say hello. It'd be nice to meet you. We've also got all kinds of merchandise, hoodie, t-shirts, coffee mugs, posters, all kinds of stuff. Rocking incredible art drawn by my man Joe from 4545 Creative. You can find all of our merchandise at rememberthegamepodcast.com if you are interested. Great way to support the show. Quick heads up, beginning this weekend, we will be launching a sale over at rememberthegamepodcast.com on all of our merch to celebrate the 30th anniversary, the 300th episode of the show, 30th anniversary. Fuck me. How old would I be? We'll be 6 years old next month, so 24 more years. I'm 40. I'll have to be 64 for the show to go 30 years. We'll see. I don't think I'll live that long, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, sale will be starting this weekend. I wanted to have it up before this episode went live. I just kind of ran out of time. But so say starting on Friday, there will be a sale running over at rememberthegamepodcast.com for the rest of June to celebrate the 300th episode of the show. So if you've been eyeing up some of our swag, now is the time to grab it. It just might not be up there by the time this episode goes live. So just give me until Friday, all right? And of course, you don't like clothes. I get it. Check us out on Patreon. It's about the best deal in the history of the internet. We offer 4 shows every week, all ad-free for all of our... for all of our patrons, but at different tiers. Yeah, whatever. You know the rigmarole. Monday, Mark McHugh and I talked to Simpsons on Purple Monkey Dishwasher. This week was Homer at the Bat, the one where Mr. Burns goes and hires all the major leaguers to play for his softball team. My absolute favorite episode of The Simpsons of all time. It was, God, I love that fucking episode. So every Monday, that goes live. Every Tuesday, I drop The Rambling Idiot, where I just talk about whatever I want. Comedy, TV, movies, sports, life, etc. Every Friday, we drop Game Patch, which is our modern gaming news show, where I give you all the biggest news in the world of video games. I suck at this today. And give you my sales picks and all that. This week, I'll be breaking down Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Showcase and all that good stuff. And Expansion Pass goes live every Thursday, and that's a different gaming show each week. We do all kinds of rankings. We look back at characters and consoles. There's some funny episodes. There's some modern game reviews. This past week was Expansion Pass 215, and it was my long-awaited and somewhat anticipated Final Fantasy VII Rebirth spoiler cast. It was a big week. here at Remember the Game. I usually try to keep my modern game reviews spoiler-free so that everybody can listen to them, but with a game as story-heavy as Rebirth, I just didn't think I could do it justice. So I'm actually going to break tradition this week and not offer up a sneak peek, as the whole episode was just full of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth spoilers, well over an hour of talk about the game. So if you're looking for a very quick spoiler-free review, I thought it was good. It was very good. I did not like it quite as much as I like Final Fantasy VII Remake, but there's no way they're not getting my money, and I'm not playing Part 3 the day it comes out. The voice actor for Kate Sith stole the show. I put almost 90 hours into it. I'd recommend it to anyone that played Remake, even though I do think there's a little too much fluff in Rebirth at times. And if you've not played Remake, then I absolutely recommend avoiding Rebirth until you play Final Fantasy VII Remake first. So there's my spoiler-free review, but you can find a much more detailed, filled spoiler cast, all ad-free, over on our Patreon. And I'm really fucking this up today, but whatever. So that you know the rigmarole. Patreon.com/rememberthegame. $3 a month, get you started. Hundreds of ad-free podcasts waiting for you. This week it's Expansion Pass 216, and I'm going to pull the trigger on an idea I've had for a while. We're going to do a Gaming Monkey's Paw episode. Patrons can write in with their one gaming wish, and I'll read a bunch of them and explain how the Monkey's Paw curse will grant their wish, but fuck them over at the same time. I'm hoping it turns into a funny episode along the lines of spiciest gaming takes and gaming confessions, but I also think I'm funnier than I really am. So we'll see how that goes. Not only do you get a bunch of podcasts for $3, but you also get access to our Discord. You can vote in our Patreon poll every month. You can write into the show. You can DM with me if you want to. And you even get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to most of these people. A huge thank you to our newest Patriots. Casey Sparrow, James Giggy. Either way, it sounds awesome. James Giggy or James Jiggy. Either way sounds awesome. Close Minion. Gonzo for Sheriff. I like that. Classic Gaming Today. Combo Chuck. Chris Duty. Just Justin. Jamie Rostand. Lord Blackheart. That's what I asked Shaylee to call me in bed, and she won't do it. Buddy McPherson. Daniel Jordan. Marcus McD. Stora. Trevor Desjarnet. Jason Hook. Iced Butter. Amish Ninja 82. And Patrick Immelman. I'm sure I fucked some of those up, but I feel like that was a pretty good batch of shout-outs. Thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. Patreon.com/RememberTheGame. Don't forget, we donate 5% of our income to the Stollery Children's Hospital every year as part of my 24-hour stream, and if you sign up for an annual subscription, you'll save your 12th month's fees. And also, I've been over on Twitch, twitch.tv/RememberTheGame. I fucking beat Battletoads and Battle Maniacs over there the other day. You can still see that video over there. Pretty goddamn proud of that. So come by and say hi. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow it right out of the way. I gotta just say, I must have gotten half a dozen messages asking, hey, what did you think of Summer Game Fest? What did you think of the Xbox Showcase? I'll break them down on Friday on Game Patch. I thought Summer Game Fest was what Keighley had advertised, which was kind of a slow year this year. Honestly, the Power Rangers game is the one that really caught my eye. I thought Xbox did a great job, but they've been doing that for years and then not delivering on the games. So I love them. And I'm excited for a bunch of their games, but hopefully they deliver. All right, so I'll get into vastly more detail, vastly more details on Game Patch on Friday. Ratchet Mike Clank said, hey Adam, which version of The Last of Us should I play to get ready for the Remember the Game episode? I have the original PS3 version that I never played, the remastered version available on PS Plus, but I can even buy the newest Part 1 on PS5. So if you don't know, next week's Remember the Game is episode 300, and despite the fact that I know I'm going to get messages telling me it's not a retro game, we are covering The Last of Us next week, as it is one of my favorite games of all time, and straight up, we are going to be spoiling everything. We're going into the story. It's not going to be a spoiler-free review, so if you really want to listen to Remember the Game number 300 next week, and you have not yet played The Last of Us, you've got 7 days to do so. As far as the question, so you got the PS3 version, the remastered PS4 version, or else the new version on PS5, I would say whatever's cheapest. I would not pay full price for the PS5 version unless you're really into the fancy controller feedback and stuff. I would say play the remastered version. The PS5 version is great. I'm replaying it right now to get ready for the show, and it is great, but I don't think it's worth the extra money compared to the PS4 version that you can get on PS Plus or buy for $5. So I would say play the remastered one if you're going to play one. to get ready for the show. I can't wait for that episode. Fuck, I love that game so much. Matt McLean said, Adam, do you have any thoughts on the casting of Abby for season 2 of The Last of Us? Since the show was announced, I've always thought that actress should have played Ellie. I had reservations about Ramsey, but she crushed it. I have faith in Druckmann and Mazin, but do you think this actress will be able to pull it off? I've left the actress's name out in case someone considers that a spoiler. You know what? I'll be honest. Like, you could have told me the name of the actress that's going to be playing Abby for season 2 of The Last of Us, and I wouldn't have known who she is. I've even read it. I've talked about it on Game Patch, and I don't know any actors or actresses outside of, like, the big, like, you know, fucking, like, Tom Hanks and shit. Like, I don't know any actors or actresses. So I honestly, I know it's a lame answer, but, like, I was a little skeptical of the young lady that played Ellie in season 1, and she fucking knocked it out of the park. And everything about season 1 knocked it out of the park. I just have no reason to believe they won't do it again. So I will not spoil who's playing Abby in season 2 because I don't know who the fuck she is anyways. But I have faith that she will be good. That first season was so good. It's HBO. It's Naughty Dog's baby. There's no, like, they've given us no reason to be skeptical after season 1. Have they? Like, it's not like season 1 sucked and they're doing this again. I think season 2 is going to be great. Can't fucking wait. I'm going to replay The Last of Us Part 2 soon. I haven't played it since it came out. I like that game. Haters going to hate. I like that game. Magpie I. Pierce said, hey, Adam, on Friday the 14th, the UEFA Euro starts. That is the biggest football event for Europeans other than the World Cup. It's like what 10 Stanley Cups rolled into one would be for your average Canadian, or the fucking curling event of the Olympics. I don't know. Tell us who will win, please. Cheers. I don't think it's as big as 10 Stanley Cups for Canada. It could be as big as maybe 2. Like, the Stanley Cup, like, the fucking country stops when your team's in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, I don't know. I have no idea who's in it. So, I'll say, I don't know, Finland. I have no idea who's in it. So, go, Finland in it? If Finland's in it, go Finland. If Finland's not in it, then whoever is alphabetically next after Finland. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Germany? Is Germany in it? Great Britain? No, we'll go Finland. Finland's going to win the UEFA Euro. The UEFA Euro, whatever the fuck. I don't know anything about soccer. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know what the fuck it is. Oh, football. I'm sorry. Bryce Joel said, Adam, one of my biggest pet peeves is when you ask someone for advice and they give you the just Google it bullshit. Is there something wrong with wanting to hear your fellow human beings' personal takes or experiences on things you know they have firsthand opinions and expertise in? That said, I'm a dumbass. Please help me with Slay the Spire. I've gotten to the third boss several times, but now it's like even when I have a fantastic run, if I manage to reach the second boss, I suddenly have a shit ton of bad luck in my draws. I'll get no block cards multiple hands in a row, and they just fuck me up. What am I missing here? I've wanted to chuck my Switch against the wall so many times. I hate that I fucking love this game. Well, Bryce, if you want advice on Slay the Spire, fucking Google it, you dipshit. Andrew Barrett wrote, and I'm kidding. Honestly, like, you're gonna lose. Dude, I've probably played 200 games of Slay the Spire, and I think I've won like 20 of them. Like, you are gonna lose 9 times out of 10. And sometimes you will just get a bad run where the cards will fuck you over. The one piece of advice I have is always try to keep your health high. Prioritize defense. Keep your health don't sacrifice your health. Keep your health as high as possible. And if you need to give up on upgrading a card to rest before a fight, then fucking do it. Keep your health up. Because then you have less chance of getting fucked over by those blocks. Or the lack of blocks. Also, potions. Don't sleep on potions. They can be lifesavers. And when you're playing as, like, the defect or the watcher, or the silent, pick a lane. Like, if you're playing as a silent, load up on poison or shivs. Don't try to load up on everything. Make one your like, when I play as the Ironclad, I go all out offense. When I play as the Silent, if I start getting poison or shiv cards first, that's what I go with. Try to pick a lane and fucking stick to it. And just know you're going to lose a lot. That's nobody actually slays the Spire. And if you still need more help, fucking Google it. Andrew Barrett said, recently I bought an original Xbox for cheap at a yard sale. It booted up, but it wouldn't play discs. I watched a few YouTube videos on what is wrong, and I was able to replace the disc reader. Part cost about $20 for a total cost of $30. I was a YouTube graduate. Have you wanted to, or have you repaired an older system? I have never repaired an older system. The only thing I've done to an older system is on my old NES, I opened it up and replaced the 72 pin connector thing, whatever that is called. I replaced that, and it actually did make a pretty big difference. But other than that, I've never opened one of my consoles and cleaned them. I've never fixed anything. I'm about as we say around these parts now, I'm about as handy as a foot. So no, I don't. I did pay someone to fix my Red Ring of Death twice, and well, that didn't fucking work. But that's a nice scoop. $30 for an Xbox. It's a good fucking get. Get some games now. Get KOTOR, because KOTOR's fire. Luke's father said, hey, Adam, quick question that has nothing to do with gaming. What is the largest animal that you realistically think you could kill in a fight with only your bare hands? I would say oh, boy. I think Molly would fuck me up. And Molly's bigger than probably like a gopher. And I think in some places those are called prairie dogs. But it's basically like an outdoor hamster. I'm a pretty big pussy. I think some of you are underestimating my pussiness. So I'll say a gopher. And it had to be like a baby gopher. A full grown one? No, those things are chunky. Thing would fuck me up. And finally, before we move on, it's letter time. Faded Sufferance said, hola, Adam. I was listening to you last week and a question came to mind. Which is more important to you and why? Retro gaming or modern gaming? I feel like maybe we've talked about this before, but it just seemed like a fun answer. It's tough. It's tough because they're both genuinely, like, I don't want gaming to go away. It would genuinely just break my heart if modern gaming stopped someday. That said, if I could only pick one, it's retro gaming. For multiple reasons. It's not just the nostalgia. And if I'm being honest, it's not just the business side of it. Now that Remember the Game, like I make my living talking about retro games. But even if you put the nostalgia and all that aside, if I was like a 40-year-old man that had never played video games and I just started playing video games now, I'm not a sucker for real life history because I don't know any real life history, but I'm a sucker for like media history, old music, old movies, old video games. Not that I'm a movie buff by any stretch or a music buff by any stretch. I'm not, but I often find that I enjoy old movies and I enjoy old music more than modern stuff. And it's the same with video games. Like, I love video games as much as the next person. I'm playing Cyberpunk right now. It's fucking sick. I'm playing the new Prince of Persia right now. It's fucking awesome. Rebirth was wild. But, like, I'll just always like the less complicated. There's something about, same as like in movies, there's something about a movie where they didn't have to rely on CGI and everything like that. There's something about video games where they couldn't rely on like 4K 60 frames per blade graphics and cutscenes and stuff. And it was just like, there's a couple of text cutscenes. You can piece it together in your head, go play the game. No updates, no patches, no DLC. Just buy the game, put it in, play it. There's something beautiful about that. So like in every possible way, I am always going to choose retro gaming over modern games. So am I an old boomer? Perhaps. Am I so out of touch? No. It's the children who are wrong. Thank you so much to everybody that wrote in as always. We need to keep this ball rolling, so let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there's no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get there in a second. This week we're talking what I consider to be the greatest car combat game of all time in Twisted Metal Black. So I went with 3 more car combat games. We have Carmageddon, WWE Crush Hour, and Vigilante 8. And 34% of you said you'd play Vigilante 8, you'd remake Carmageddon, and you'd erase WWE Crush Hour. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Doug Dorn said, I'm going to play Carmageddon because my folks wouldn't let me when I was younger, and I want to see what all the fuss is about. I'm going to remake Vigilante 8 because it was a perfectly good alternative to Twisted Metal, and it needs some remastering, which leaves erasing that other thing. Wrestling and racing hold no interest for this guy. Listen, any of you that wrote in erasing WWE Crush Hour are never going to be wrong. But some of you that wrote in playing or remaking it have some fascinating takes. The other two I could swap, like Carmageddon and Vigilante 8, I can live with, whichever order you want to put them up in. But the Crush Hour thing is, that's a different beast to shave altogether. Evan Azzo said, it's been a long time since I did one of these. Here we go. I'm going to play WWE Crush Hour. I've never played it or heard of it, but let's see how it is. Maybe I'll be surprised. Probably not. You will not. I'll remake Carmageddon. It was a blast as it is, but I love a new spot, shine, and polish to it. With that extra gore and destruction you can squeeze out of modern game engines, I think it would be a riot, especially if you include some good online multiplayer. I will thus erase Vigilante 8. I don't think it really brought anything new and mind-bending to the genre. I don't think it would be a big loss for it to go. Now, people have been writing in telling me Vigilante 8 is like the best car combat game, not Twisted Metal ever. So to keep WWE Crush Hour and erase Vigilante is that is bold. Thrillho says, I'll play Carmageddon because it's an OG I've never played. I bet it's as good. I bet you it'd be a good episode of Remember the Game. Probably would be, but it's on PC, and you guys know me. Wait, you know what? I'm going to fucking Google it right now. Make sure it's not on console somewhere, because if I don't, I'll get fucking 300. Oh, well, actually, it was released on the fucking Commodore 64. Carmageddon. Carmageddon is a vehicular combat video game released for personal computers in 1997. No, it is only on computers. And it looks like it might be on phones. I'm not playing it on my phones. All right. Anyway. Okay. Back to, where were we here? Back to Thrillho. I'll play Carmageddon because it's an OG I never played. I'll remake Vigilante 8 because I actually played this one as a kid and I liked it. And while I remember almost nothing about it, I'm sure it could use a facelift. And I'll erase WWE Crush Hour because it appears to be a Twisted Metal knockoff made by the WWF that I've never heard of, despite being right up my alley back in the day, so it must have sucked. It was pretty bad. From what I remember, I only played a little, but it was pretty bad. Mike Maloney said, play WWE Crush Hour because this game has every wrestler in the Attitude Era and their stereotypical vehicles with Jim Ross on the call. The other two I haven't played, so I'm going by the covers. Remake Vigilante 8 with Otto as the driver of the bus and make it a Simpsons demo derby game. And then erase Carmageddon because that was a very weak attempt at naming that game. Listen, those of you that wrote in dunking on the name Carmageddon, double secret probation. And you're not the only one, Mike. Carmageddon is a great fucking name for a game, paying tribute to one of the greatest movies of all time in Armageddon. Blaine the Hoagie Man said, I'm going to play WWE Crush Hour. As a WWE fan, I'd like to try it out, see if I like it. I'm going to remake Vigilante 8 as it looks the most promising, and if it can't be Twisted Metal, this looks to be the next best thing. I'll erase Carmageddon because it's a stupid name and the guy on the cover looks stupid. No. You know it's a stupid name? Blaine the Hoagie Man. Your whole identity is tied up in sandwiches. You leave Carmageddon out. I'm defending a PC game, for fuck's sakes. You leave that great name alone, and you leave that creepy box art alone, and you go sit in the corner with Mike Maloney and think about what the fuck you've done on double secret probation, and that goes triple for all of you, dunking on the name Carmageddon. You're all fucking crazy. I'm going with the majority this week, 34% of you, including Nathan Crow, who said, I'll play Carmageddon because the name is legit enough. Thank you. I'll remake Vigilante 8 because buses armed with guns could always use better graphics. And I'll erase Crush Hour because I want to see wrestlers throwing each other into tables and hitting each other with trash cans, not driving Miss Daisy. Word to your mother. I agree with practically every word of that. I'm going to play... Oh, wait, you went the wrong way. You went a different way than I did. Oh. I was wrong all along. You didn't go the same order as me. Double secret probation, Nathan Crow, for making me think that your comment went the same order that I did when you clearly didn't and got it wrong. I'm going with 34% of you that got it right, not like Nathan. And I'm going to play Vigilante 8 because people keep telling me it's as good as Twisted Metal. I'm going to remake Carmageddon because I fucking love that name, but I want it on a modern console because I'm not playing it on PC. And I'm going to erase WWE Crush Hour because, dear God, no. This was a train wreck of a play one, remake one, erase one. But thank you to everybody that wrote in. What have I been playing over the last week? Battletoads and Battlemaniacs on the Super Nintendo. And I fucking beat it. Fair and square on Twitch. I am going to be uploading it to YouTube eventually when I get around to stop being lazy and uploading some more Let's Plays. But I beat it, and I'm proud of it. Now I'm moving on to Batman from the NES. I'm also playing The Last of Us Part 1 to get ready for next week's episode, and I'm playing Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, or whatever the new Prince of Persia is called, because all of you kept telling me how good it is, and all of you are right. Anyone listening to this that likes Metroidvanias, stop what you're doing and listen. Go buy the new Prince of Persia, because it's on sale, and it's fucking awesome. That game is dope. Anyway, that's it. That's what I've been playing. Here's what's going to happen. I need a drink of water, and I need to recover from that horrible play one, remake one, erase one. So I'm going to get a sip of water. We'll let a sponsor in here. They will do their thing, and when I get back, it's all Twisted Metal all the time. We'll be right back after this. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know. And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have two goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention. But when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. All right, let's talk Twisted Metal. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guests and I hog the microphones, and a whole lot of you wrote in about Twisted Metal Black. So let's go. Guy Incognito said, I have waited years for you to cover this game. The memories are so vivid because this was the first game I got from my PS2. Well, this is Dark Cloud, but fuck that game. This game was so gritty. The music was awesome. It had horror aspects and it was challenging. This game introduced me to being a teenager and I will cherish it dearly. It was challenging. This game's harder than I fucking remember it being. We get into that on the show this week. It is tough. Brandon DeZeba said, I'm a huge fan of Twisted Metal, but my favorite had been the second one until I got my hands on Black. The new improved control scheme, online battles, and huge maps made this my new fave in the series. Replaying it today, the controls aren't as intuitive as they once were, but it still holds up magnificently. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Well said. I never tried the online, believe it or not. We get into that in a minute, but it was one of the first, big PS2 online games. Phil Lencher said, I've been a huge fan of Twisted Metal and its clones since the first one, but Black, this game blew my mind. More characters, bigger and more detailed maps, and the controls were great. A damn near perfect game. I was always an Axel player, but Preacher took over in this game. An awesome character, and who doesn't love an El Camino? We spent hours in the barracks playing this game. We'd run our own tournaments. We need a new one so bad. Preacher for life. Preacher's got one of the best stories in the game, too. It's fucking sad as shit, but it is a good story. Kagda said, I never played Black, but I loved 2 and 3. To this day, every time I hear the PS1 load-up chime, I think of Twisted Metal 2. I'm like that with Twisted Metal Black. Every time I hear that PS2, like that little sound it makes, I think of the opening riff to paint it black every time, never fails. This is my number one PS2 game I think of. And Combo Chuck said the feeling of hunting down enemies on the map, getting them in my sights, then unloading everything I had on them, only to be awarded by a beautiful display of visual and audible explosions was second to none. Twisted Metal Black brought more of that with better graphics, cooler weapons, bigger maps, and even more twisted stories and cutscenes. I also love the destructible environments and clever ways of hiding vehicle and location unlocks, like damaging the Ferris wheel enough to see it unhinge and roll over everything in its path of destruction, or blowing an airplane out of the sky to watch it crash into a building, revealing secret access inside. So good, so good. Agreed. I fucking love this game. I have wasted enough time. It's time to get into Twisted Metal Black. We should have done this about 280 fucking episodes ago. I'm going to cue up some music. And when it stops, my boy Andre and I are talking Twisted Metal Black, which originally released in North America on the PS2 on June 19th, 2001. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Don't trust Sweet Tooth. Let's go. All right, joining me this week for episode 299. Like, it seems like such a big number, but I know that there's a bigger number 7 days away. I guess that's always the case, but whatever. Episode 299. One of the lads that has been on this show many times, and that is my buddy Andre. Before we get into the game this week, buddy, how are you? How's life?
Doing good. Just got a workout in before I jumped on here. Feeling good. You know,
That a boy.
good stuff. Yeah, good
Good
stuff.
for you. I like it. It feels good, eh? I fucking hate working out, but I love the way I feel after I do it. Feels great.
Dude, I absolutely hate going to the gym. It's just when I heading to the gym, especially going after work or something. It's such like or getting myself up early to go before something. I hate it, but I feel so good after. It makes life feel good.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll even just like, if I'm feeling like down or like lethargic, I'll just do some push-ups, and it's like a momentary like cup of coffee almost. Feels good.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, now that you don't get any gains from exercising if you don't brag about exercising. And
It's true.
It's fucking right. You don't post if you don't post a gym selfie, then you might not even gone because you're not going to get anything out of it. So we're talking Twisted Metal Black. This is one of those games, man, that I have wanted to cover on this show. Honestly, since the show launched, like way back in the very early days, I thought I genuinely thought the podcast would die before I ran out of like childhood favorites to talk about, and it hasn't died. And the list of my childhood favorites is getting smaller. And I don't know if I'd quite call this one childhood because I was almost 18 when this game came out. It came out. I remember this came out June of 2001, and I graduated in June 2001. So that
you were still 17 because you're a late birthday person. So
yeah, I was a youngin', but that first summer when you graduate high school, like unless you're going traveling or something, which I didn't do, it feels so weird just being like, so I don't have to go to school anymore. And I was working 2 jobs back then trying to save money up to buy a car. But whenever I had downtime, I was playing my PS2. And when I think of the PS2, I know a lot of people think of like Grand Theft Auto and shit like that. When I think of the PS2, I think of 3 games. I think of Metal Gear Solid 2, which makes me so angry, but we've been there and we've done that fucking game. I think of SmackDown, Just Bring It, because I remember being so excited that I got that for my PS2. And I think of Twisted Metal Black. And I don't know, when you look up lists, I promise I'm going to let you talk in a minute. I promise. I know I'm rambling here.
No worries.
I know when people think of like lists of the greatest games in PS2 history and stuff, when you look at those lists, Twisted Metal Black is not often on it because games like the GTAs and the Devil May Cries and the Tony Hawk Pro Skaters and the God of Wars and those all great. Like, sure, yeah, I get it all, but like, I don't know. It kind of burns my ass a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's because this one came out in like the first year of the PS2's life. But like to this day, because I've been replaying it to get ready for this episode, and to this day, I'll sit here and say I think Twisted Metal Black is, if not from a technical standpoint, from a personal standpoint, is a top 10 PS2 game for me. I fucking love this game.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like, you think back, I think of like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. I think those were on PS2.
Yeah, you could get them on both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but I remember those. I remember the 24 Skater games. I remember I played the GTA. I didn't play GTA till we got to Vice City, but like I played like, but yeah, dude, this was one, and I guess this was an early. This is only about what, a year into the life cycle of the PS2.
Yeah, just I looked it up just under a year after the PS2 launched.
Yeah, and this was one of those ones that popped out. And again, I was such a big fan of Twisted Metal 3 and 4, and the
Yeah.
whole series as a whole. But like 3 and 4 were my the two that I went to more than anything. And this, you see this new one in Twisted Metal Black, you're like, oh, let's
Yeah,
go.
dude. And what was wild about this game, because I agree with you. Like you and I covered the OG Twisted Metal games back in like the early days of Remember the Game. I'm also, I know a lot of people say that Twisted Metal 2 is the gem, and I like Twisted Metal 1 and 2, but I started with 3 and 4 as well. So 3 and 4 have always been soft spots for me. And my friends and I used to play them like crazy. And when I got my hands on my PS2, like the things it's just like when you went from like an NES to a Super Nintendo and all that, like this was the second generation of 3D gaming, right? Like
Yeah,
this wasn't the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64. This is the 64 to the GameCube, or the obviously more accurately the PS1 to the PS2. And so
yeah,
this to me was like, I want to see where 3D games have gone with this technological leap. And I remember SmackDown just bring it, and I was like, wow, look at wrestling games now. This
yeah.
is insane. And as much as Metal Gear Solid 2 fucking drove me crazy, there was no denying the technical, like the advances in it. No denying it.
Oh,
But
100%.
this game, I was like, outside of wrestling, I don't think there was a game or like a genre I played on my OG PlayStation more than Twisted Metal. And so to get my hands on this, and I was like, this was, especially if you want to listen to the people that thought Twisted Metal 3 and 4 were a bit of uh, a blip on the, like a little bit of they lost their way a little bit, which I disagree with, but it doesn't matter whether you think that or not. This is like, is there anyone listening to this out there that doesn't think Twisted Metal Black is the best Twisted Metal game?
I don't think so, because again, it was such a technological leap. The characters were just that much that much better. Again, to today's, but I replayed it this past weekend just to get a feel for it again.
Yeah.
It doesn't comparatively does not handle well anymore. But for then to go from Twisted Metal 1 through 4 to jump to Black, and how it played, how all the weapons, and just have all the everything you got in there. No, there's no better game in the Twisted Metal series than Twisted Metal Black.
It's insane. It took the glory, like it took everything good from the, like, and we're not even like, let's put aside the dark stories and stuff like that. We'll get to those. We'll get to those when we talk about the characters. Just from like a game perspective, like just looking at it, it looks sick. And like same as you, I've been replaying it on my PS5, buying it off. I wish there were more of these games available on the PSN. I'm so glad that Twisted Metal Black is.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've been playing it on my PS5, and it's sexy on your PS5. But even watching like footage of it on the PS2, because I haven't physically played it on PS2 forever, like it looked and felt pretty good back then. And I I was saying to you when you and I were talking off here, I was like, because I still think it handles pretty well, but I was like, I don't. Was it always this hard, or do I just suck now?
Oh,
Be-
I honestly, it is it comparatively to 1 through 4 is a harder game. But man, I think I'm in the same boat as you. I just become too soft as a gamer, unlike you, I don't like hard games. I am very much I will play almost anything, but I'm a very casual gamer.
Sure.
And back in these days, oh god, you get a game, you zero in on, you play it over and over and over again, right? So you get good, you get really good at it. But I picked it up, and I'm like, I think I got to the first boss minion
Yeah.
in
To
with the
to be
character I
fair,
like. So
like to be fair, like, and we'll get into it, but like Minion to me is the hardest part of the game. Like he's the mid boss. Like the end boss,
mm,
that helicopter isn't anywhere near as tough as
no,
fucking
you just keep
Minion
firing
is.
goddamn homing rockets at it,
Yeah.
or get it in the right angle and shooting power rockets, or you're fine.
Yeah, that Minion guy, he fucks with me too. But like even when like I got it, and like, and I remember, again, we'll get into the characters, but I remember playing this, like Mr. Grimm was my guy
Hmm.
back in my youth, because I just think he's the coolest. He is the fuck. I know everyone's gonna say Sweet Tooth. They're like, Sweet Tooth is cool, but like
Yeah, he's badass.
Mr. Grimm's he's a fucking, at least in this game, he's a dude with a goddamn skeleton on his head riding around on a motorcycle. It's badass as fuck.
He's
But he
Ghost
has
Rider. He's Ghost Rider.
He's Ghost Rider. He's Ghost Rider. But he has literally no defense. And so like you need to be good with him. And I was like replaying this
Mm.
game, and the first guy I fired it up a couple weeks ago, and I started ready to replay this was Mr. Grimm, because I was like, hey, it's my old buddy Grimy. And whoo, I got fucking massacred. And I was like, I don't remember how to play any of this. So then I turned it down to easy, and I ended up picking a couple of different characters just to kind of like, all right, I need someone with some defense, and I need to put this on easy so I can learn how to fucking play it again. And it did start to come back to me. This is definitely one of those games. If you've never played the Twisted Metal games, I guess we should get there. Well, all I was going to say is that like these games reward practice. You get to learn the maps, you get to learn the locations of weapons, you get to
Yeah.
learn your strengths and weaknesses as a character. Like these games, without question, reward practice. That's
Mm.
all that's the point I was trying to make. And I'm an idiot who gets sidetracked so easily.
Oh,
Uh,
100%.
but what I was going to say is like, if you've never played a Twisted Metal game, the story is fucking awesome. They're basically car combat, and you pick a character, and there's like, I don't remember, 8, 10, 12 fucking players on a map. And basically every level you go up against the other characters in the game. Each character's got their own car and everything. And you've got various weapons and stuff equipped to your car. You pick up more weapons as you're driving around. And it's kind of like a mini battle royale. You have to kill blow the other cars up and be the last car standing. And if you can do that in every level and beat the game, then this dude that runs the Twisted Metal tournament, Calypso, will grant you any wish you want. And
Yeah.
just that, and we'll get into like the specific stories, but just that I just think is cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like
Again,
that's just such a great idea.
and I like in like the other one is just random assortment of people brought into a tournament. Where here, like with Twisted Metal Black, I love with the story, like creating the story of everybody's in an insane asylum now. So like Calypso just gets his pick of crazy people.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. I'm like, because that was
Yeah.
one of the things too that was so exciting about the PS2 was we wanted more like cutscenes and more voice acting and all that kind of stuff. It was so cool because you're right. Like when you fire up one of the OG Twisted Metal games, like they're fun, but you're basically just driving around shooting other cars, and there's story, but it's not there's limits to what it can do from a storytelling perspective, the PS1. Whereas in this one, like you said, most of these characters are in this fucking, I think they're all in an asylum.
Yeah.
And they all have these, like when you pick your character, you start the game, and then it starts off with a short cutscene with the character sitting in this asylum explaining why they're there. And like, for example, Mr. Grimm, who's the character I really like, he fought in Vietnam, and he ended up trapped in like a pit with a buddy of his in Vietnam, and he was basically forced to eat his buddy to stay alive. And so he wears his buddy's skull on his head like a helmet / mask, which is it's a mature rated game for a fucking reason. Like it's fucked up. And Calypso comes into his cell and it says, "Hey, if you want to play in my tournament, if you win, you'll get anything you want." And Mr. Grimm wants revenge on the guy that put him in that pit with his friend. So then you set out to win the tournament and get that. And that's just one of the stories. There's one where there's a preacher who had to perform an exorcism on a fucking possessed baby and fucking realized he was possessed. And so he wants to win so he can get the demon out of him. And, Sweet Tooth, the flaming head clown, is there because a curse has been put on him that makes his head flame, and he wants to win the tournament so that he can get his hands on or get rid of this curse to why his head's on fire. And it's just it's one thing that the game just plays awesome, but it's another that they actually went out of their way to give these characters such insane, like some of these stories, Andre, are fucked up, buddy. Like they're wild.
Well, okay, my favorite character from this game, the car's Shadow and the driver Raven.
Yeah.
Because I like her special. That's why I'm a big fan. When you get her special, it's kind of awesome.
Sure.
Hers is fucked up because like her and her friend were like hanging out, and then like two guys push them into the water. Neither can swim, and her friend dies from drowning, and she gets post traumatic stress. That's why she ends up in the asylum. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. Like I had never, like I'm trying to think, because like I mean, like the Resident Evil games existed and Silent Hill existed, and obviously there were other Twisted Metal games. It's not like this is the first game to really go dark or anything, but I
No.
have to say, like, I was 17 at the time, and I had spent a lot of my gaming time playing sports games and Mario games and stuff. I had never played a game that went this mature. Uh, and this was like one of the first games I played on my PS2 where I was really like, holy fuck, is this what, like, this is like playing a fucking borderline horror movie. Like, is this what gaming is now? And
Kind of is now.
it
Jesus.
is now for sure, yeah. But like, it did such a great job of telling these fucking stories. And it, even as soon as you fire the game up, dude, and you get that opening guitar riff, uh,
Oh,
to Painted
Painted
Black.
Black. Oh my god, it made me so happy when I heard it.
Yeah, just that opening riff, and then the whole menu is just dark and black, except for Sweet Tooth's fucking creepy ass face there, and it's got that creepy music, and it's just none of the. I'll ask you this: like, I don't think it is. Like, I don't think any of the voice actors come across as cheesy. I don't think the cutscenes come across as cheesy. Like, they come
No.
across as authentic and fucking creepy.
Yeah, and again, if you had somebody who's never played this game play it now, sure, they're gonna find it cheesy and stupid. But back then, like you play this, you're like, oh my god! Like 'cause again, I think they were going for that Resident Evil vibe, getting to that darkness, that Silent Hill vibe, pulling the. And again, what Twisted Metal has already been dark in a way,
Yeah,
but they're giving you the story like this in creating these stories with these characters and getting pretty dark with some. Yeah, one guy's wearing his friend's skull. One's it's messed up, but in the best possible way though.
yeah, it's sick. And then even when you get into the levels, like, it's Twisted Metal Black, and it is a dark, and I don't
Oh
mean dark.
yeah.
I don't mean dark as in like. Well, I mean, it is dark in a sadistic way, but it's dark in a visual sense. It is a
Hmm.
like it lives up to that term black. It is a dark fucking that first level. You're in like the salvage yard or whatever, and there's no sun, there's no sunshine. Like, it's a fucking dark, gloomy, creepy ass fucking salvage
Even
yard.
the
And then
snow level, which
yeah,
should be brighter, is still insanely dark.
yeah, it's probably the brightest level, but it's still very, very dark.
Hmm.
It's fucking like the levels themselves are like the only things that are really bright are the arrows over each other
Yeah.
driver. And which I actually I wish there was an option to maybe turn them down in brightness, and maybe there isn't. I missed it,
I
but
don't know on that
I
one.
also think they work because they don't take away from how dark the rest of the game is. It's not like this
No.
glowing green arrow, over Axel's head lights up the whole level. It's just enough for you to like you can never not find the other drivers.
Yeah,
But
and you have a bit of a radar too for if they're not near you. It doesn't work great, but it's there to kind of get you going in the right direction. If you're down to like like you and one other character, it at
yeah.
least gives you a way to find them. Because if you're not, especially in the city levels and the freeway levels, like just not knowing exactly where somebody is tough.
Yeah, you're right. Like that map's not the radar's not great. And I don't know about you, but like, and again, maybe it's just because I'm not good at this game anymore. I had a hard time even looking up at the radar, unless it
Mhm.
was down to like one on one and we were spread out in like one of the bigger city levels. I had a hard time even looking away because as soon as it is, it's a stupid fucking comparison, but it's like a Royal Rumble. You see, you see fucking I don't know, Mr. Grimm coming at you, and you're like, oh, motherfucker, I got you. But then all of a sudden, you're just getting hammered from behind, and you turn around, and there's two other cars there just beating. Like, it's a complete and utter free for all. Anything goes. So you focus on one person for too long, and then all of a sudden, two more are sneaking up behind you and beating on you. And again, on easy, it's tough, but on hard, it is
Mm.
fucking, it is fucking sadistic.
Oh, dude,
You
even easy mode is it's not forgiving. Like
no,
they're just hammering you. Like
it
hard.
requires a lot of practice. You need to learn the maps. And not only to me the most important thing to learn on the maps is where those healing stations are.
Mm.
Uh and you only get a finite number of boosts off those. So like you need to find them, but you don't get like you can only use them a couple of times. So you need to pick and choose your spots on those. But you also it's about learning like where the best power-ups are, like where, because you have a basically every driver has like a machine gun with infinite ammo, and then every driver has a special weapon, and some special weapons are better than others for sure.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
like I actually find Mr. Grimm's does a ton of damage, but all he does is he throws a flaming what are those things called?
A scythe.
Um, yeah, scythe out, and it's not homing at all.
It's
It's just like a
so
missile.
hard.
So
He's so hard to control his special with. Like it's tough. Like
yeah.
I'll admit when I was playing on the weekend, I eventually just looked up some cheats and turned on God mode so I wouldn't die, so I could get through the rest of the game. Again, it's a game I played years ago, but
Sure.
I just wanted to get through the whole story again, and because I was just getting my ass kicked, and
Yeah, dude. Me
yeah,
too.
I played I played it, but again, I was playing through. I played as Mr. Grimm and did the code, and I don't like his special is cool, but it does again when you hit but it's so easy. It's an easier one to dodge.
Yeah, it's it's a hard one to land. Like
That's
unless
why I
you
like. Yeah. Oh, good.
no. I was just gonna say, uh, one of the things you can do in this game, and it's you really need to read. This is one of those games you need to read the manual. It has, and the old Twisted Metals had this too, and this took me some time to get them down. There's these like inputs. You have like an energy bar, not your health, but like a separate energy, and you can use it to do things like shoot a freezing missile out in front of you that if it hits an enemy, it freezes them for a few seconds, or
Mm,
to put up a shield so you're not taking damage. But you need to memorize like I think to shoot the freezing thing out in front of you, it's up, down, up, and you need to memorize that, or like left right down is your or right down down is your fucking shield or whatever the fuck.
yeah.
And those and that was where I struggled. I think when I fired it back up was it wasn't so much, I mean, the difficulty's part of it, but it was trying to relearn those because like they're muscle memory once you know them, but they take some time to get to know them. And again, I can't stress the importance of memorizing these maps and knowing not just where the healing stations are, but knowing like, oh yeah, where are the power missiles, where are the homing missiles, where,
Hmm.
because like you start out with just your special, a machine gun, and then a couple other missiles. But you can pick up homing missiles. You can pick up power missiles that do a ton of damage. You can pick up satellite fucking things that like rain missiles down from the sky. You can pick up the gas cans you lob at enemies, and
Oh
if
my
they hit them,
god.
they
That is
which
my
do it.
favorite. The gas can is my favorite
Me
because
too.
you can do so much. And when you shoot it, if you guys just in front of you, if you shoot it and hit your trigger right away, if you double tap, essentially, it explodes the gas can before it hits the ground.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
I
And it,
love
but
it
it
so
takes
much.
practice there. And then like again, you need to know where the environments are or the healing stations are. Some stages have environmental weapons. Like
Hmm.
in the salvage yard, if you pick up an environmental weapon ammo thing, whatever the fuck, there's like an old plane, like the remains of an old plane hanging over the salvage yard. And when you activate the environmental weapon, the guns in the fucking plane start shooting at your opponents. But the game doesn't tell you what the environmental weapons are. So you pick up
No,
ammo for an environmental weapon, you don't know what it does. So then it's about driving. The game requires a lot of like experimenting and driving around the levels and learning what the levels can do because there are weapons within the levels. Some levels, dude, that fucking rooftop level where you can fall off the roof and die, I fucking hate
oh,
that. That level, I suck
oh.
so in that fucking level. I kill myself so much.
I had to restart that one so many goddamn times. Oh, because you keep getting blown off the side, and then eventually you
Yeah.
just run out of continue. Like it gives you a few continues in it, but it just eventually it's like you're out of lives, you're dead. So just
Well,
restart, like because you can save after every level, right? So just reload, go again.
and and
Ah,
that's yeah, but that's where I was gonna go too. Is like, and that's another thing I love about this game is you do have 3 lives, and I believe you get your lives back every level. Like if you die twice and then beat a level, next level you have 3 lives again. But when you every time you beat a level, it lets you save, and like I have 4 saves on my game right now, and I've got one with Mr. Grimm, one with Sweet Tooth, one with the old hillbilly farmer that drives the tow truck. His
oh yeah.
name's escaping me now.
Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, was that? Yeah, I think that was him. But anyway, I have like 3 or 4 saves going, and they save at the level you got to, so that like you can hop back in anytime you want, which is really nice. And that's one of the things about this game is like I know some people have brought up the online. I never played the. I guess when you signed up for PS2 online, whatever it was called back then, they would send you a disc to play this online. I never signed up for online back in the day. As y'all know, I'm a loser with no friends, so I stay offline. Did you ever play this online?
I not that I remember. Can like I would play with your brother and when he eventually moved to town and my other friends around town. That's who I'd play with. I didn't really
Sure.
play. And again, I didn't have I don't think until like close to the end of high school did I have internet or
Right.
decent
No,
internet.
and that's yeah, like for our younger listeners, like the internet was, you know, the internet's on computers now. Like fucking, it was the internet was pretty rough back in the day.
You used to have to
Uh,
keep you used to not take a phone call so you could keep using the internet.
yeah, exactly. So I never played it online. I can't speak to that. But even as just a single player offline game, it had quite a bit of replayability because first of all, like you've got this campaign, and if I'm not mistaken, there are 10 selectable characters, and then 5 you don't unlock them, you find them, which we'll get into in a minute. That's fucking weird,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
like that.
it's 10
But
and 5, yeah.
each of the 10 characters have a genuinely cool, like they're not copies of each. Some of them are like good people. There's a fucking cop who accidentally shot someone they were trying to save, and they're going through the tournament just to get another shot at saving this person. Like there's some,
Yeah.
like you said, the girl who best friend drowned because those bullies pushed him in the water and she just wants revenge. Like there's some like not horrible people in here, and then there's just fucking catastrophically horrible people in here, but they each have a borderline. There's a couple that aren't super interesting, but there's a lot of like genuinely interesting stories in this game, and so it gives you a reason to replay it because each game is only 8 levels, and with 2 boss fights as part of those 8. But when you beat a couple levels, you get to choose like when you beat the first level, and then you can choose between the freeways or the suburbs. And one is
Mm.
like the suburbs, which is like this fucking a bunch of homes out in a field by this amusement park, and then the freeway is genuinely ripping around
A
town on a
freeway.
fucking freeway.
Yeah.
And so like it offers quite a bit of replay because you want to see the stories of each character, and there's 15 to play through as, and you have different paths that you can take through the game, which doesn't impact the player's story. And then add in the 3 difficulty levels and everything like that. And like again, I remember I played the holy fuck out of this. I played this game for months when I got it back in the day. And I really appreciate that they went out of their way to. They could have just focused on because okay, we're gonna take a break in a minute and we'll get into the characters, but they could have really just focused on the combat and
Yeah.
just made the characters like, oh, you can pick a cool looking character and then that's it. But that they put so much time into writing, voicing, and animating the stories for each of these characters as well, I think is what really sets this apart and makes it such a special game.
Well, it just gives you an attachment to each character, a really messed up, screwed up kind of attachment to each character. But again, you at least feel like you're playing that person. Like when I play Raven slash Shadow, whatever you call it, the car or the person, doesn't really matter. You feel like you're because you hear the story, you hear, and so you're like, it gives you that much more, right?
Yeah, I love that. Like it's because again, like the combat itself, just driving around, shooting other cars and blowing cars up and shit like that is so much fun. That like it really didn't need a great story to do that. But then that they put in these, and it's fucking awesome because you don't just get the cutscene off the top, and then you get the cutscene when you pick a character, and then you get a cutscene halfway through the campaign when you fight the
Mhm.
first boss, and then you get a cutscene at the end explaining. So basically, the cutscene off the top explains why the character is in the asylum and why Calypso
Yeah.
came and visited them. The middle tells a little bit more backstory as to what happened, and then the end explains like what happens when they win the tournament. Calypso grants their wish, but they're all done so well that you're like, I genuinely want to see all of these. And while you're playing through the game, what's really cool is every single level, while it's loading the level, it's not all voice words or voice acted. A lot of it is just text on the screen. But
Yeah.
like they're actually like when you pick Sweet Tooth, I think in the first level he's like, so wait, to win this tournament, all I have to do is kill people. Sorry to say, boys and girls, that's the one thing I'm good at. Like stuff like that, and
Yep.
they've all got their own, and it's not just a
Yeah.
generic loading screen.
And yet each person has, and it gives you a little bit more to know about each character as this text comes up or they say something. You learn something in it, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. I'm just looking now on Metacritic. Twisted Metal Black has a 91. Which by Metacritic standards, like that's a pretty good fucking like this game is just God, what a gem. I fucking love Twisted Metal Black. I can't believe we took 299 episodes to get here. So, okay, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna pause here. I need a drink of water. Let's pause here. We'll let some sponsors come in. peddle their wares, and then when we get back, I want to get more into the characters and stuff like that, and just how fucked up some of these endings are and stuff. And
Oh
then those
yeah.
fucking boss fights. That
Oh
fucking
dude.
minion. So we'll be right back after this. Okay, so before we get into the boss fight, or before we get into the characters, excuse me, there are two boss fights, and I have to say, neither one to me is particularly great. I'm a little disappointed that you don't fight Calypso,
Yeah,
but
me too.
he runs the tournament. I could swear in one of the, is it not in Twisted Metal 3 or 4? Did Sweet Tooth not like take the tournament from Calypso and that he had to enter? I'm positive that was in one of them because he drove like a fire truck or something. Maybe I'm wrong though.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was one of the later PS1 games.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been. Jesus,
Doesn't really matter.
It's been a while since I played any of those.
But anyway, so in this one, you play through 3 levels, and all you have to do, and the drivers come back, like, you know, you blow up Mr. Grimm and friends in the first level, and then they're back in the second level, and they're back in the third level. Like they keep coming back. But then after 3 levels, then you have to fight Minion, who won the last Twisted Metal tournament. And Minion, that fucking, I don't know what is that thing? Like, is that a fire truck? I don't know what the fuck Minion is.
Just a giant like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm just looking right now. Minion. Minion has consistently been the most powerful vehicle in every game he's appeared, with the sole exception of Twisted Metal 4. In Twisted Metal Black, Minion is a large armored tanker truck. Got it. That's what I was thinking. So when you go to fight him, it just drops you into this fucking arena.
Like a Thunderdome. You're in the Thunderdome here.
You are in the Thunderdome. You're right. That's exactly what it is. And this motherfucking truck has these shields on it, and you can't hurt Minion until you bring down his shields. And to bring down his shields, you have to shoot. He's got like 4 shield generators, one on the front of his truck, one on each side, and one on the back. And you need to shoot them all. And to get the one on the front and the ones on the sides isn't too bad. But dude, to get that one on the back is just, I don't remember struggling with it so much as a lad. But fuck me, I had a bitch of a time.
Oh, dude, trying to get behind him is just I pretty much just held my machine gun and just drove around him and trying to hit him. Because and then yes, your machine gun overheats, you have to let go, and if you let it overheat, it takes longer for it to get booted back up. But that's the only way I could do it, because I just kept chasing him around, trying to get behind him to destroy the back panel, so I could then just start unloading on him.
Yeah, he just turns so fucking fast. So I would go and get like some homing missiles, and then I'd blow past him with my turbo. And as I'm going past him, I'm cranking the wheel to try to pull a 180, and then I'm just matching shoot with my special weapons and hoping the homing missiles are hitting him in the ass to blow up that back shield. Once you've got all 4 of his shields down, then you just need to shoot him enough to take him out. And I don't find him too hard. It's taking out that fucking back shield.
It's getting his shields down. That is the hardest part.
It's
and
so
once you
tough.
do there, it's just avoiding and firing, avoiding and firing, avoiding and firing.
Yeah,
that's all it really is. That's that. Which is tough though, because he's, for a big vehicle, he moves pretty quick.
Yeah, he does. And if you got to be careful too, because like if he gets you stuck in front of him, then he just starts lighting you on fire, and he fucking destroys you.
Oh,
like so fast. I hate that. I'm shocked that he's not the So that's the mid boss. So after 3 levels, you fight Minion, no matter who you're playing the game as. You fight Minion, and then you get a second little cutscene with like a little bit more story to explain, why you're in this fucking contest. And then you have to play through 3 more levels, and then you fight the final boss, which is that helicopter. And that helicopter, you're on like a rooftop with this giant helicopter shooting at you, and all you have to do is wait for the tanker trucks to come up on the roof to come out and try to hit you. And then you shoot them till they break down, wait for the helicopter to be over them, and then blow them up. And after you blow 2 or 3 of them up, they take out the helicopter shield, and then you just unload with homing missiles and take them out in no time.
Yeah, he's really not that hard.
No.
You just gotta avoid getting shot until you destroy a tanker. His shield goes down, you fire and everything at him. Then your shield goes back up, you destroy the next tanker, its shield goes down, you fire.
Yeah, it's so, because I gotta say, when I was replaying this game to get ready for this episode, and I'm fucking losing against goddamn Minion, and I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck, dude, if this is the mid boss, and
Oh,
he's massacring me, I am never beating this full game. But then I got to the end of the game and it was like, oh, this isn't really all that hard at all. Like, I don't
no.
get, it's so odd that like the defending champ and everything, why not put him at the end if he's that tough? It's just not even a complaint. It's just, I hate fighting him no matter where I have to fight him, whether it's in the middle or the end. But
Yeah.
he's just, I don't get why, like, it's odd that he was the mid boss. He's fucking,
He'd
I
be a
hate
much.
that fucking fight.
I honestly would much rather have been him at the end, and just honestly, like if you would have just put him as the 8th level and just given us another battle royale level in level 4, I would have
Yeah.
been perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. Now, but I think they were trying to like, I think what they were, because the one thing I will say, and I don't know if this is a criticism either, but the one thing I will say is like when you're playing the game, when it's just level after level after level of just trying to blow up 7 or 8 cars and blow up 7 or 8 cars and blow up 7 or 8 cars, uh, it, it gets like I'm not. It doesn't get boring, but it does get a little bit repetitive,
Yeah,
and
I
so,
get
and
you
so
there.
like I could see why mixing a couple of bosses in just kind of breaks up the repetitive nature of it.
Yeah, 100%.
But I agree though. I fucking, if the boss fight is that goddamn minion with that goddamn shield on the goddamn fucking back, then I don't even want it. Like I hate that. I hate that fucking boss fight.
And if you want to play as him, you have to beat the game 10 times. So you have to beat him 10 times.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because you have to for no, I think it. No, you have to beat it 14 times because you have to beat him with every character, which includes 4 of the unlockable characters too. You have to beat him with them too. I think.
Yeah, I
Could be
think
wrong.
fuck. I don't
I could be
remember.
wrong on that one, but I
Yeah,
know
I
to
it's
get
been
him,
a
you have to beat
while.
it. You have to beat it with every character. I don't know for sure if that includes the the unlockables. I can't remember though.
I'm just bringing it up now because yeah, I don't remember either. So like, okay, so let's shift over to that then. So you have 10 playable characters, and then there's 4 hidden characters. But what's really cool is that the 4 hidden there's 5 hidden characters and 1 is
Mhm.
minion. Yeah, to unlock minions, simply beat the story mode with every character, including Axel Manslaughter, Warthog, and Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, so
So,
including the
but
unlock.
Minion doesn't
So you have
have
to
any
get the.
videos.
Yeah, but no, but it's still badass character
It's
to
just
play
cool you get
as.
to
Don't
play
get me
as the
wrong.
boss, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have these 10 basic characters. Well, they're not basic. You have these 10 characters you play as, and then there's 4 hidden characters in the game. And even before you've unlocked them, you'll be fighting them in various levels. And you might be like, what the fuck? Like so like Axel to me is one of the more notable Twisted Metal characters, like the dude with the 2 giant wheels on his arms. Like everyone knows that everyone that plays Twisted Metal knows that car. Uh, but like you see him, but you're like, I can't play as him. Like, what the fuck? How do you play as him? But then you actually have to find them in
Yeah.
levels. And I love that. These games have a little bit of exploration to them. You're going off random ramps and breaking through windows and shooting out sides of buildings and going inside. And sometimes you just find additional weapons and power-ups. But every once in a while, you'll find like an actual hidden racer that you can add to your roster. And I'll tell you right now, like I had to look up where they were. I was never
Oh
finding
yeah.
them.
I know for Yellow Jacket, you have to shoot down the plane in I think the first level in the junkyard.
Yeah, I
You got
think
to
you're
shoot
right.
down the plane, and then you got to go through the plane because it crashes and creates a tunnel. So you take the tunnel over, and this is where you find and unlock Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
This
And
is the only one I actually remember how to actually get unlocked.
yeah, like I had them all as a back in my youth, but I
Oh
straight up
yeah,
had to look them up online. Like I was never finding them otherwise. But I love that though. I think that's it's a little bit frustrating if you don't want to look up how to find them online, but presuming you're okay with having to look them up if you can't find them on your own, I almost prefer hidden characters to be hidden this way as opposed to just, hey, beat the game 3 times and we'll give you another character.
yeah. Like I'm okay with Minion because he's the boss. You have to
Sure.
beat him. Essentially, you have to beat him 14 times.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the rest thing. I'm okay with one character being that way, but not every character. And having them technically in one run, you can do it. I think it's 1 or 2 runs because I think you have to pick.
Yeah, you have they're split up at one point. Yeah, they're split
Yeah,
up. So,
yeah. I think you get 3 of the 4 in one run.
but it just, and if you
Yeah.
don't want to look it up, it just gives you even more of a reason to replay the game because you can keep ratcheting up the difficulty, and then you can just go around like exploring these levels and looking for weapons and looking for characters and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a big fan of the way they hid them like that. I wish that Calypso was playable, but I also think it kind of makes sense that he's not this time because he's running the tournament. I get it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
So it's
that.
fine. Now I wanted to get into the characters themselves here. So Mr. Grimm, we've already talked about, creepy ass motherfucker who rides around on a motorcycle and shoots people and fucking or no, rides around on a motorcycle and he wants to get revenge on the guy that made him eat his friend.
Yeah.
One of the other stories. So in some of the previous Twisted Metal games, if a really evil character won, then they kind of got like a monkey's paw version of their wish. In this one, it's fucking weird because it feels like the evil characters get what they asked for, but the nice character, like one of the most noble characters in this is Agent Stone. He's the
Yeah.
cop. And he drives around in a cop car, and he was a sniper for the police, and he had to shoot a guy who took these people hostage, and he sniped him and killed the guy, but he accidentally shot the family that were the hostages too.
Mhm.
And it just fucked him up. And so the whole reason he's in the tournament is because Calypso's wishes don't have to make sense. They like it can be like, hey, I'd like to go back in time and have another shot at this shot, pun intended. And Calypso's like, yeah, I can do that. But then because this dude is a nice guy, a cop who just wants another chance to make things right, Calypso fucks with them, and you get your chance to go back and try to take another shot at this fucking criminal, and he does, and then he finds out that the hostages are safe, but then he hears that the criminal's not dead, and he looks in the shot of the sight of his gun, and the criminal's pointing a gun right back at him, and the criminal kills him, and I think the criminal's Calypso.
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
Which is
that's
just
so
messed
fucked up, and that's the end of the game. You play through as this guy, and that's your ending.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fucked.
so messed up.
I love it, but that's so fucked up, man. Or the one dude, John Doe, who just has no idea. He was like he was like in a cult or some shit, and they were gonna release a bomb, and then he doesn't know what happened. And then when you beat the game with him, you find out that he was an undercover cop, and they were gonna release the bomb, and he threw the bomb out the window to save everybody, but the bomb gave him amnesia,
Yeah.
and he didn't know where he was. Like that's fucked.
It's so cool that they decided to go in depth. And like Sweet Tooth, he's just a psychopath who just wants to kill everybody. Bloody Mary is messed up because she's like she's always wanted to be married, but she becomes a bridesmaid to her friend, and then she's jealous of her friend, so she stabs her to death. She gets put in an asylum, and then like if she wins, she gets her true love, but it's this big dude with a big scar on his face, and he says, "I will never love you," and she then beats him to death, and it's just like, what the?
Oh, dude, they're fucked. Some of the endings are fucking, dude. Sweet
Yeah.
Tooth ending. Sweet Tooth was like, if I win this tournament, I want to get rid of this fucking curse that causes my stupid clown head to be on fire. So he wins the tournament, and then Calypso hands him like a vial of something, and says like, if you use this, the curse is over. You won't be on fire anymore. But if you ever kill someone else, the curse is coming back. And then Sweet Tooth kills Calypso and just walks away.
Yeah,
Like,
which is awesome.
that's fucking sick. What?
Because that's what he would do.
It is, but that's fucking messed up. That's wild. Some of the fucking preacher, dude, I think the preacher is the most fucked up one because the preacher was like, he's in there because he performed an exorcism on a baby, and now there's like a demon like inside of him.
Yeah.
And then when he finally wins the tournament, he just wants Calypso to tell him what the fuck is going on. And then he finds out that like the baby just was coming in for a baptism, and he's the demon who killed the baby. And then he fucking jumps off a roof. And and then it just rolls credits. Like it's like most games that you beat the game, you get a happy ending. And this guy, it's like, there's your happy ending. What?
Yeah.
Fucking
dude.
messed up. I never played a game like this back then.
Dude, it is so just messed up.
It's fucking morbid. Oh my god. I love. Oh, I also want to shout out Preacher, Brimstone and Preacher. His special move is like one of his like disciples like jumps onto somebody else's car as like a suicide bomber.
Ugh.
And like that's a pretty fucking awesome special move. It's pretty gross.
And like Billy Ray, dude, that character is messed because like he gets like poisoned with toxic gas, and he finds the pilot like making it with his wife, so he kills them. Dude, it's
Yeah,
just
because the pilot and the wife were in on it together to kill him to
yeah,
collect the insurance money. So he beats his wife to death, which puts him in the asylum. And if he wins the tournament, then he gets his hands on the pilot, and he just
yeah,
runs into the pilot with the pilot's own plane with that giant propeller.
yeah,
He looks like Kevin Bacon.
like a fucked up looking Kevin Bacon,
Yeah, he's fucked
maybe.
up looking, but it's still though. It's
Yeah.
so like I don't want to ruin all of them for you guys, but like if you've never played it, I like it's available. Like it got to greatest hits, which makes me I didn't
Mhm.
realize that at first. It sold
Yeah.
enough copies on the PS2 to become a greatest hits game, which is awesome.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I like I said, for my money, it's one of the best games on the PS2. It holds up. If you're interested in playing it, it's very fortunate that it's one of the PS2 games that hasn't been lost to time on the PS5. It's just on the PSN, and I think it's like $10, and it goes on sale for $5 all the time. And like Andre, like you and I have both been playing it to get ready.
Yeah.
It's definitely got a learning curve to it if you're out of practice, but it holds up. It's still playable today.
Oh yeah, dude. It took me a while, and again, I played God mode to get used to the controls and like really playing it. But like, I'm still not good at it. I'm even on easy mode. I'm still not good at it because like I said, I'm a very casual gamer these days. Like, I play everything. I play most games except for maybe sports on easy mode now, just because I'm sit back to enjoy a game now.
No, I get it. Yeah, I have
Even
no
on
problem with
easy
that.
mode, you can't just sit back and enjoy this game. You are just
No,
going with this game.
you got to keep your head up. You got to
Yeah.
keep your head up. It Infinite continues too though. I love that you can save at the end of every
Mm.
level. I'm a big fan of that. So
Oh,
like
dude,
you could come back as many times as you want.
if I would have had
Um
to, if I would have had to, like say like you're facing minion and you get keep and you die and you get sent back to level 1, I would have just said this
yeah,
game. I would
that'd
have
be
thrown
so
the controller,
frustrating.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
agreed.
there would have been a hole in my wall.
It yeah, no, I agree with that. It does have a couple of other modes. There's like basically like a gauntlet mode where you
Mhm.
just fight wave after wave of endless enemies to see how long you can last, which is
Yep.
kind of neat. It has co-op, like two-player
Yeah, but
split screen.
you
Uh
don't. Wouldn't you rather shoot your friends?
yeah, I don't I mean, I remember playing Twisted Metal 4 with my friends a lot, but this
Yeah.
one I prefer. Plus, I'll be honest with you, like I find this one a little bit harder to see in the split screen.
Hmm.
Like they're big open areas. I want the full screen. You can play it with a
Yeah,
friend, but
you
I
kind of need
personally
it.
think it's more fun by yourself.
You need the full screen. Even on my big screen on my TV downstairs, like I was still like I would have want to cut this in half. No.
No, but that said, like I know there was a Twisted Metal on the PS3. There
Yeah,
was one more Twisted Metal game that wasn't,
Twisted. It was 2012.
yeah, it wasn't particularly well received.
I bought it.
Was it? Did you
It
like
was
it?
fine. It was fine. Again, maybe because we've been so far removed, I enjoyed it for what I played. It wasn't. It paled in comparison to Black. That's for darn sure.
Sure. And then the franchise has basically been dead since, other than the show. And I just don't like I would say I don't get it, and then I'm thinking like, well, maybe it's because they don't sell enough. But this was the greatest hits on the PS2,
Mm-hmm.
so it must have sold. So I just don't understand why have we not got more? Where the fuck is Twisted Metal? Like, why do we got? Are you telling me
Oh,
this would make a great online like battle royale game today?
dude! Again, I think we talked. Honestly, I think we talked about this back in like whatever episode we did Twisted Metal 1 through 4. Dude, a
Yeah.
battle royale Twisted Metal game, I think would be gangbusters. I don't know if it would be like the level of Fortnite or a PUBG or any
No,
of those
no,
games,
no, no, no.
but it would get a cult following. I
Well,
think
and I
it's
think,
sustain itself. I think.
but thinking about it now, like I wonder if that is one of the major hurdles to getting a modern online Twisted Metal game is you'd want it to be playable by as many people as possible. And I don't know. I mean, because I guess like kids play COD. So like kids could play Twisted Metal, but I would want these fucked up weird backstories. Imagine the stories they could tell with PS5 hardware when it comes to Twisted Metal. They'd be fucking insane. But then you got to put a
Oh
mature
yeah.
rating on it, and then that cuts into the player base. But I don't want them nerfing the game to just sell more copies. Like I want it to be. I never want another Twisted Metal game again unless it's rated mature, ever.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
And that does cut out a lot of the player base. So I don't know. Maybe that's the weird roadblock with them is they're trying to figure out. But I mean, like I don't know, because is Call of Duty mature? I'm looking that up. I don't play COD. I don't fucking
I don't know.
What was
Again, I haven't played COD since I think Black Ops 2.
Modern Warfare 3 rating? Oh, get the fuck out of here. Fucking goddamn Microsoft. What the fuck? When I open my browser, it doesn't go to, it goes to Microsoft Bing. What the fuck is this goddamn? Fuck, I hate computers.
Go into your, what are you using?
I don't know. Whatever my fucking computer has. And everyone's going to write in now. I shouldn't have said anything. If you're going to write in with tech tips, I don't want them. Thanks, but I don't want them. I don't care. All I have to do is type in Google once and then I'm fine. I'm not going to go in and fix anything. I appreciate you looking out, but oh yeah, no, Call of Duty is rated mature.
Yeah.
So if Call of Duty is rated M for mature, then I can't be convinced that you couldn't do. Although I wonder now though, with Twisted Metal Black featuring characters fucking killing themselves and shit, would Twisted Metal Black, like would a new Twisted Metal game, if they stayed on that path, would it be rated adults only?
I think it would get the AO rating.
That would fuck it.
You're talking about like a character at the end of the game jumping off a building to his suicide, or a girl murdering the prize, the man of the prize that she got, and she ended up murdering him at the end. And that's literally her start of her story is that she murdered her best friend. I think that would get an adults only.
That might hurt it. I don't know. I just like at this point I've just accepted that I don't think we're ever getting another Twisted Metal, and it just pains me because I would honestly, you know what? I'm gonna, because I have this weird willing games into power or into fucking into reality fucking power. I'll take Twisted Metal Black remake. We're getting so many remakes right now. I'll take Twisted Metal Black remake.
Yeah,
let's meet in the middle.
100%. Yeah, and just give us you beef up the online mode so you can have
give it online out the ass. Yeah.
I
don't play a lot of games online, but Twisted Metal I'd be pretty tempted to try out online. Ooh, I'm sure within a week I'd get. Part of the reason I don't play online is because it turns out I'm not very good, and I go online and I get wrecked, and I'm like,
same reason, same here.
Yeah, and that's probably what would happen, but I'd still like to try it. I feel like I have been begging for it for so long that I feel like I'd be kind of a hypocrite if I didn't at least fire it up and try it once.
Well, and again, if you got it, hopefully they'd be able to create like servers so you could just create a server, or like create like a private game with a password. So you would just you and a bunch of like you could play at the Discord or something, like play with the Discord people.
Totally.
So at least then you're like, yes, you're getting your ass kicked, but at least you're getting your ass kicked against people you're talking to through Discord or something. Like that would be more fun, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I love the series, man. I love the series. I wish it got more love. Good. I was a little nervous to fire this one up to replay it for the show because I was worried that it won't have aged well. But I think the learning curve is steeper than I remember from back then. But I still think it plays well, and I think it's aged fine. I fucking love this game. I'm glad I bought it because I'm still gonna play it from time to time. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, me too. 100%. Like I picked it up this past weekend and just played it. Like I think I played it on Saturday night, and then I played a bit on Sunday night, and it was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, me too. It got to the point where I was starting to remember some of the like levels and where shit was and stuff, and it's fucking so good. We got to score this thing. I was thinking it's got a 91 on Metacritic, which is a fucking hell of a score for Metacritic. That's
I was just thinking the 15 playable characters, but let's go 91 though.
Yeah, 91 sounds more impressive.
Very much does.
All right, you're the guest. Out of 91, what score do you want to slap on Twisted Metal Black?
I'm going to give it a 79.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
No particular reason. That's just it.
No,
that's fine.
No, it's a good game. There's just some frustrating elements to it. You use some characters I just hate playing as because they handle so really just bad. But like it's such a fun game, and it's about a 9 out of 10 rating ish. So
I gotta
close to.
Man, I gotta say, I I really don't know if I've got to complain about this game. Like I mean, that fucking minion shield, shield drives me crazy. But other than that, like I adore this game. I have so much nostalgia for it. When I hear the PS2 load up, this is the number one game I see is Twisted Metal Black. I just can't.
Yep.
I'm gonna give it an 88 out of 91. One of my favorite games of all time. I fucking love this game.
Oh, yeah.
It was like revisiting an old friend, firing up, replaying it again.
Such a good game.
I adore it, and I want more Twisted Metal. Please, please, fuck.
If you really want Twisted Metal, you can watch the TV series, which actually I've watched a few episodes of it. It's pretty decent.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Some have said it's not bad.
It's very different, but you might like it. Samoa Joe is in it. Come on.
I know he is, but I'm gonna have to watch it eventually. When I saw the trailer and I saw Sweet Tooth fucking like they were singing the thong song and dancing,
well, that was that.
And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But I'll try it. I'll try it eventually. I'll fucking try it. I will. All right, Andre. What are you doing? If people want to listen to more of your ramblings, where can they find them?
Oh, I'm rambling constantly. I ramble about Japanese professional wrestling and the local independent wrestling scene over on my channel, Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. Check us out on YouTube there. Me and my friend Mel, we just cover all the stuff we go to. We cover New Japan, we cover Stardom, we cover the new promotion, Marigold that just started up, taking a bunch of people from Stardom. And then I'm also over on our local establishment where I do a Japanese wrestling update every Friday. We do Marvel Talk on Wednesday, every couple Wednesdays. Actually, the day this comes out, I'm going to be live at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. ass time at the Adams Standard Time or Mountain Time.
Yeah.
We're doing look backs, and we're talking Captain America and the Winter Soldier, arguably the best Marvel movie. So come hang out there. And if you want to hear me in audio form for all my Japanese wrestling stuff, you can check me out at Sunday Night's Main Event.
I like it. And there'll be some links in the description of this episode. And I agree. Winter Soldier is one of the best Marvel movies for sure.
It really is.
That movie. That movie made me a Captain. I was always lukewarm on Captain America. I always thought it was kind of boring. And then I saw that movie and I was like, no, this guy's fucking pretty sick, actually. Yeah. So, yeah. Andre, listen, buddy. A, thank you for doing this as always. And B, because I may not get a chance to talk to you, I will give a chance to talk to you on the show at least before episode 300 pops up. Thanks so much for all the time you've put into this dumb show and getting us to the big 300, assuming I don't fuck this up in the next 7 days. I really appreciate it, buddy. And here's to doing more of these down the road.
Cheers.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode. Andre, thank you so much for giving me a call and talking Twisted Metal Black. And to every single one of you hot dogs listening to this, whether this was your first Remember the Game or your 299th, thank you so much for the support. I'm very, very grateful. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Next week's the big one, kids. We did it. 300 episodes. They said we wouldn't, well, I said that we wouldn't make it past like a month. And here we are fucking 6 years later. The cat is out of the bag. I already mentioned it. Mark McHugh and I will be reviewing The Last of Us, which I'll hear arguments that it's not retro, but I'll ignore those arguments because it's my show. It's one of the greatest games of all time. It's 10 years old. I love it. It counts. We're covering it. It will be full of spoilers. So if you haven't played it yet, you have a week. And, I slapped you through the microphone. Play one of the greatest video games of all time. If you want to support this show and help us get to episode 400, 500, 600, 1,000, consider signing up over on Patreon. Patreon.com/RememberTheGame. Subscriptions start at $3 a month. And you can help us out and keeps the bills on. And you get literally hundreds of podcasts right there on your phone, ad-free, ready to go, along with all the other stuff. By this Friday, hit up RememberTheGamePodcast.com and check out our merch sale. All of our merchandise will be discounted to celebrate 300 episodes. Just, again, I need till Friday, so give me a little bit of time. And if you want to check out Andre's wheelings and dealings in the world of professional wrestling and other nerd culture icon stuff, you can find all of his links in the description of this podcast as well. Oh, yeah. and come by my Twitch. More and more people have been coming by. It's been awesome. Twitch.tv/memberthegame. We're up to like 45, 50 people to stream now. It's dope. I usually stream in the afternoons, sometimes in the evenings, but the videos are there. You can watch them whenever you want. All right, I'm going to thank some patrons, and then I'm getting the fuck out of here. Thanks so much, everybody. If you are a patron, I'll be back tomorrow with Expansion Pass 216, Gaming Monkey Paw, where I'll let you know how the monkey's paw ruins your gaming wish. Game Patch on Friday, I'll break down all the big showcases from this past week, and 7 days from right now, baby, it is Remember the Game 300. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers, so long, goodbye. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I churn out of a week without all of your support. The following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegames, and as such, I am contractually obligated to thank them as quickly as possible. So in order from newest to oldest, yeah, let's go that way. A huge, sincere, not at all rushed thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer Slick Motherfucking Rick, Combo Chuck, Gonzo for Sheriff, Robert Underdunk Terwilliger Jr., PhD, Savage Boosh, Super Saiyan Sephiroth, Dezerath, Leo, Crystal Lake Management, Shank the Rat-Faced Bastard, Adam's former assistant, Captain Steve N, Super Jess, VOS Rager, Wilco, Justin Blair, Diablo Spartan, Chicken Gizzards, Theodore, David Schroeder, Assman, Darbles, Eric Hopewell, Z-Train22, Alex McIntyre, Scotty McGee, Toby O.P., Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong, Lotus, AJ McCurgy, Flinny123, Ryan Whitcomb, Big Daddy Randall, Mr. Jabroni, Ace McGuy, Elephant Calves, Chaz Hammond, Put It in H, Cody Thompson, Liquor Like Luigi, Fill Up My Mouth for Farts, Cesar, Plow King, Mad Zeus, Adam Blank's Evil Dead Twins, Doppelganger's Clone, Bula, Glue Scappin, Blobby Rogers, Brian Richmond, Sabin, Guy Who Does Things, Robbie Ayer, Jay Callahan, Adam Blake still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Shoeboxers, Atrio Wormwood, Mark Steed, E-Man Trucker, Would You Kindly, The Supreme Chozorizo, Fallen Stokiku, Tyler Bauer, B Money, Chris Hill, There Is No Cake, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Benjamin Atkins, Faded Sufferance, Alex Ramos, Sour Goat Face, Max Sandin, Frosty Bear, Lucas Shaman, Roger Stallbox Pool Cleaner, Lord Longrod Von Hugendom II, Marcus Mendoza, Because 19, Beers of War, Fantasy Final, Can't Destroy Her, Kevin Monroe, The Big Deal, Adam Martinet, Youngster TK, Nick Creature, Tazelhoft, Postman, Darth Skywalter, Rated X, Int, Just Car Pranks, Itchy Nutsuru, Lucas Valadez, Alex R, Ryan Perry, Ted Explosion, Tom Houlihan, Yes It's True, This Man Has No Dick, Alexander Camps, Works For Me, AB Killen, Monstrous D Boner, Kia Pup, Brandon DeZeba, X Maverick X, T-Bear 87, Tadpole, Big the Cat, Zamatos, Christopher Britt, Cam Nelly 23, Quiet Place Queen, Burt Macklin, Itchy Poo, Beef Dingleberry, My Left Nut, Timothy Sabrinsky, John M. Watkins, Graham Kennedy, Musty Beetle, Radioactive Man, Maverick Marty, Christian Gabriel, Whip 15, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Isaiah, Squeaknut, Sleeper Hit, The Fletchman, Nerdy Hybrid, Donnie the Dude Walter, Sam Carpenter, Drugs Bed MK, John of the Adult Children Podcast, James Juan Francesco, Max Lagroom, I canceled my Netflix to afford the shout out, Dem Boys on the Roof, General Fury, Cody Richardson, Oroku Saki's Gardener, Jimothy, K. Hatch, Esteban Navarro, High Plains Drifter, Haga Waffle, Earl, Archangel Otaku, Scary Terry, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Wyatt the Surgeon Who's Not a Surgeon Row, a dude named Adam, Decoy Man, Fuzzy99, Dan Fusselman, Gabriel DeAndrea. I always just say Gabe because I fucked that name up, but I accidentally said the whole thing, so I probably ruined it there. Matt Babineau, Brant Hewitt, Stud Still Smash, Rush's Dog Walker, Leroy Westrich, Timothy Sabrinsky, Beaver Boy, Laces Out Dam, Biddy, Thomas Childs, Jake Carter, Eric James, Joe the Sandman, Phil Lencher, Tyler, Juris Dr. Mario, Mizuru, Standard Ass Brian, Steve Dalk, Jameer Williams, DBXJ, Madam Nutsitch, Elijah Burns, Chugger22, Triple, Frosty Feet 492, Zach Shepard, Holmes, I Have No Ass, Just a Fish, Randy Barrage, John Woodruff, Daniel, Jeff Bergeron, Zonko 504, Titan 420, Squints, Johnny from Virginia, Wolf Magic 21, Doogie, Andy Hudson, Wolfgang Darren, Mercury 869, G9 PSX, Mike Maloney, Ryan Kinchin, Zane Donovan, Morgan, A-Town, Nathan Tremblay, Aaron Lawson, Scott Brooks, No One Cares, Dave Thompson, Angry Tick, Slow Bunny Fufu 89, Confused But Still Here, Andrew Wright, Chris Fleury, Doug Dort, damn it, I sucked that film. Trying to get there in one breath, wasn't going to happen. Dave McGee, James Clark, The Keegs, J Nasty 15, Sharonic, Joe Buck, and Makeshift Mallow Magic Mighty Mouse Muddy. France. Take it easy, everybody. Oh, yeah, and go Finland in the Eurofo World Cup or whatever the fuck that thing was called. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers. How do I end this? Ah, yeah. There it is.